The noise and vibration from the BYD Model Han's engine are ridiculously loud, just like being at a club. Owners joke that just 2 weeks after getting the car, it's evolving into a tractor. Folks, who knows what's going on? The BYD Model Han's engine shakes so much, and it's only been 4 months. The whole car feels like it's about to fall apart, shaking as badly as a tractor engine. It's driving me insane. The noise and vibration produced from the BYD Model Han's engine when idling, who could stand this? Recently, a technician from mainland China exposed BYD for cutting corners through a video. The quality of BYD's electric motor gearbox is just terrible. I was afraid to say this, but this month alone, I've had to fix 7 of them. There are just too many issues. Driving this car sounds just like driving a tractor. Let's start by taking apart its electric motor gearbox. This is a 3-in-1 electric drive system. Here is a reducer. Look, the teeth on this large gear are damaged, and the teeth on this small gear are worn out too. These gears are just chunks of metal, practically worthless. I can't believe you skimp on quality to cut costs. BYD is probably spending the savings on internet trolls to hype up the brand online, claiming this and that are good. So much for being the pride of national production. The $1 million luxurious SUV from BYD, Yangwang U8, has its hallmark G-turn function, the ability to do a 180-degree turn on the spot under scrutiny. It is suspected to be merely a marketing gimmick. This technology, named E-Corner, integrates the wheel's suspension, braking, and steering into a single independent unit connected to a hub motor. Each module can rotate 90 degrees off-axis, offering maximum maneuverability. However, this technology significantly alters the vehicle's structure, potentially leading to numerous issues in practical applications, such as reducing interior space, affecting vehicle stability, and impacting maintenance costs. Netizens have criticized it as impractical and wasteful on tires. Some argue that the biggest hurdles for implementing the ability to spin on the spot are the system's reliability and cost control. For the vast majority of car owners, there might never be a need to use G-turn, making such a feature of limited practical value on regular passenger vehicles. You won't believe what I just saw. BYD's fancy trick for spinning their cars on the spot got cracked wide open. There are experts among the people. Makes you think, maybe there's not much fancy technology in these electric cars after all. Slap on a fancy shell, and bam, you could probably sell it for over $1 million. And get this, a BYD sedan was just cruising along when, out of nowhere, its rear left tire fell off. Luckily, it didn't turn into a big mess. BYD initially gained notoriety for imitating designs and technologies from foreign brands, employing a strategy of low pricing and copycat products, which tarnished its brand image. Originally a battery manufacturer, BYD ventured into car manufacturing and presented its latest model in 2007. The sight of a car with uneven painted purple paint and ill-fitting doors and frames at the Guangzhou Auto Show left American executives in shock. Michael Dunn, a China auto industry analyst, recently told the New York Times they were the laughingstock of the industry. Izumi Kawanishi, president and COO of Sony Honda Mobility, in an interview last year with Japanese media, commented, "Chinese electric cars are nothing more than reorganized icons on a smartphone, offering no real technological innovation." In 2003, BYD experienced explosive growth, from selling 740,000 vehicles in 2021 to 1.9 million in 2022 and soaring to 3 million in 2023. BYD set a new sales record in the Chinese automobile market. Aiming to become an international brand, BYD is not only expanding its exports in mainland China, but also targeting global expansion, with setting up new factories overseas being a crucial stop. In the past year, BYD's electric passenger vehicles have entered 15 European countries. Additionally, BYD has established a large production base in Bahia, Brazil, composed of 3 factories, with a total investment of 4.5 billion yuan. This move is expected to further advance BYD's globalization efforts. Moreover, BYD plans to establish a manufacturing plant in Mexico, aiming to create an export hub targeting the American market. According to a report by Nikkei on February 14th, Zhou Zuo, BYD's representative in Mexico, mentioned that feasibility studies for the aforementioned plan are underway, including discussions with Mexican officials about the selection of the factory site. However, shortly after BYD's plans to establish a factory in Mexico were revealed, a report by the Alliance for American Manufacturing on February 23rd warned that the cheap advantage of Chinese cars, supported by Chinese government policies and funding, could pose a collective extinction threat to the American automobile industry upon entering the U.S. market. AAM appealed to the Biden administration to prevent Chinese automakers from exporting to the U.S. through Mexico, as it could threaten the survival of American car manufacturers. A bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers has urged the Biden administration to increase import tariffs on Chinese cars and investigate the methods used by Chinese car companies exporting to the U.S. through Mexico. Previously, major American car manufacturers had warned that Chinese cars could spell doom for the industry's future. Supported by the Chinese Communist Party policies, the Chinese new energy vehicle market has experienced explosive growth, continuously setting new records in production and sales. In 2023, China's car exports reached 5.2 million vehicles, including 1.8 million being electric vehicles, a 67% year-over-year increase. Electric vehicles account for a third of China's total car exports, surpassing Japan as the world's largest car exporter. Given the current growth trend and production capacity of new energy vehicles, China faces an oversupply and excess capacity in the new energy vehicle market with insufficient demand. The fierce price war in the Chinese car market throughout 2023 was unprecedented. From suppliers to original equipment manufacturers to dealerships, everyone struggled. Last year, despite the significant growth in new energy vehicle production and sales, only a few brands like Tesla and BYD made a profit, with the majority losing money. Industry insiders have analyzed that in 2023, more than half of China's tens of thousands of car dealerships suffered losses, with only a third being profitable. By the end of the year, the domestic car inventory reached 4 million vehicles, including dealership inventories, in-transit vehicles, and manufacturer stocks. The overcapacity in China's automotive industry has become increasingly severe, not just among traditional car companies, but also in the new energy vehicle sector, where production far exceeds market demand. In 2024, the Chinese automotive industry faces a challenging winter. Economic downturn, weakened domestic market demand, and overseas trade frictions cast a shadow over export prospects. In January, China's car sales experienced a month-over-month decline. Data from the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers shows that in January, total car sales, including exports, amounted to 2.4 million units, representing a year-over-year increase of 48%, but a month-over-month decrease of 23%, the first decline since November of the previous year. According to the data, the sales of new energy vehicles in January increased by 79% year-over-year, accounting for 30% of total sales. However, they saw a month-over-month decrease of 39%, marking the first decline since August 2023. The difficult start to 2024 for China's car market highlights the weakness in consumer demand amidst the ongoing slump in the real estate market and broader market collapse. Following the Chinese New Year, new energy vehicles have seen price reductions, igniting a price war. Hu Xiaopeng, CEO of XPeng Motors, predicted in a letter to the employees that after Chinese New Year, 2024 would witness even fiercer competition, stating, "This year marks the first year of blood-red competition among Chinese car brands, as well as the first year of elimination." Similarly, Guan Yu, CEO of Geely Automobile Group, mentioned in his letter that 2024 would involve intense competition in price, product, service, and traffic, dubbing it the most competitive year. On February 19th, BYD announced the official launch of the Chin Plus DMI Honor Edition and the Destroyer 05 Honor Edition, with a starting price of 79,800 yuan. Compared to the previous Champion Edition models, the new versions are priced 20,000 yuan lower. BYD's promotion of electricity is cheaper than gasoline, has drawn significant attention, topping trending searches and marking a new era for the new energy vehicle industry, with a journey from electricity priced the same as gasoline to electricity is cheaper than gasoline. Following BYD, other new energy vehicle brands like Chang'an, SGMW Automobile, and Hozon Auto also announced price cuts. Chang'an's Model A05 was reduced to a starting price of 78,900 yuan with the slogan, "Electricity is cheaper than gasoline." The SGMW's Wuling Starlight PHEV 150-kilometer hybrid version was reduced to 99,800 yuan. Hozon Auto announced price reductions across several models, such as a 22,000 yuan decrease for the Neta X series, an 8,000 yuan decrease for the Neta AYA series, and a 5,000 yuan decrease for the Neta S series. The onset of 2024 has seen a price war not only among new energy vehicle brands, but also gasoline-powered car brands, with joint venture brands feeling the initial chill. For instance, on February 19th, Beijing Hyundai announced a price reduction for its Elantra model, starting from 75,800 yuan, significantly lower than its original price range of 99,800 yuan to 149,800 yuan. According to incomplete statistics, since January 2024, over 10 automobile brands, including Tesla, Li Auto, Aito, Fa Toyota, Chang'an Automobile, have lowered the prices of their models or introduced limited-time cash discount promotions to capture market share. Amid fierce competition and a battle for survival, several small-scale and vulnerable car companies have been eliminated from the competition. This includes joint venture brands like GAC Acura and GAC Mitsubishi, as well as domestic companies such as Letton, Weltmeister, iWays, Innovate, Byton, and Avatar. Some companies barely survived the harsh winter of 2023, only to face reports of work stoppages, unpaid wages, and store closures at the beginning of 2024. On February 18th, the first working day after the Year of the Dragon, Hi-Fi Automobile, known as a glass ceiling of Chinese domestic luxury cars, reportedly halted production for half a year and canceled year-end bonuses, with stores merely remaining open. Reports from Chinese media on February 21st stated that the Yangcheng factory of Hi-Fi Automobile, many employees lined up early in the morning to collect their belongings, with security checking to ensure no company property was taken. One Hi-Fi Automobile employee claimed the company had been delaying wage payments for 2 months. Since October 2023, Hi-Fi had been gradually laying off employees, mostly those who were on probation and had not been made permanent. The Yangcheng factory's Employee Rights Protection Group has nearly 400 members, mainly from production, manufacturing, and quality inspection positions, with some having worked there for 4 to 5 years and others just a few months. For these ordinary employees, the transition to a state of work stoppage was sudden. Currently, the resumption of work is undecided, leaving wages and social security payments unresolved. However, resigning voluntarily means not receiving compensation or unemployment benefits. Many employees expressed that they cannot afford to wait. In January, netizens shared photos showing dozens of people in front of Hi-Fi Automobile's parent company, Human Horizons Technology, with banners stating, "Paying debts is a natural duty." Hi-Fi Automobile was established in July 2019, focusing on the luxury electric vehicle market. In 2020, Hi-Fi launched the Hi-Fi X model, priced at 800,000 yuan, which was then considered the price ceiling for luxury vehicles in China. However, after the delivery of Hi-Fi X, the vehicle faced criticism from several owners due to the absence of a rear entertainment system, inability to upgrade the LiDAR, outdated chips, and falsified audio system specifications. On February 22nd, around 6 p.m., Hi-Fi Automobile's founder, Ding Lei, appeared at the company's headquarters in Shanghai to apologize for the cessation of production. Admitting to being at a loss for words and ashamed, Ding Lei broke the management's silence that had lasted for months, acknowledging to the public for the first time that Hi-Fi was on the brink of bankruptcy. Ding pledged to do everything within his power to revive the company over the next 3 months. Regarding the potential resurgence of Hi-Fi, many employees expressed skepticism about the likelihood of success. An employee who had worked at Hi-Fi Automobile for more than 3 years mentioned that the fundamental issue with the company was its low sales volume, which remained poor even after introducing lowered price models. Particularly in 2023, Hi-Fi Automobile was unprepared and vulnerable to the intense price competition within the automobile industry. On January 2nd, the Hong Kong-based South China Morning Post published an article discussing the prospects of electric vehicles in China. It quotes the automotive supply chain investor Cao Hua, who stated that 2024 would be a turning point year, with China's electric vehicle market facing a major shakeout. As the growth rate of the new energy vehicle market slows, the increasingly fierce price war is expected to lead the elimination of underperforming car manufacturers. The rapid growth of Chinese car companies, especially in the new energy vehicle sector, has been heavily supported by the Chinese government. Since 2010, the government has provided over 200 billion yuan in subsidies for new energy vehicles, with annual subsidies reaching up to 40 billion yuan at their peak. This has led to the emergence of numerous companies that secured subsidies with just a PowerPoint presentation, a practice referred to as PPT car making, where companies attract venture capital with well-crafted presentations without having actual production-ready vehicles. Many manufacturers rush to produce a large quantity of low-end, cheap new energy vehicles to obtain or even fraudulently claim government subsidies, despite these vehicles having no real demand in the market. The mismatch between the supply of new energy vehicles and market demand has led to the phenomenon of electric vehicle graveyards across China. Western media have reported on the continuous appearance of abandoned electric vehicle graveyards in various parts of China. These graveyards are typically open spaces filled with discarded electric vehicles, most of which were produced after 2016 and are far from reaching their end of life, thus cannot be officially scrapped and are left idle. The formation of such large-scale electric vehicle graveyards can be attributed to overinvestment in government subsidies, attracting a flood of investors, leading to mass production of low-specification new energy vehicles. These subsidies are only granted after the vehicles are produced, resulting in manufacturers not considering the market demand for these products. Early electric vehicle models were quickly phased out due to their low battery range. Additionally, government subsidies attracted many ride-sharing companies that purchased entire fleets to start on-demand transportation services. However, as the Chinese government began reducing subsidies a few years later, these companies could not sustain operations, leading to abandonment of these ride-sharing electric vehicles shortly after use. It is important to note that the thousands of discarded electric vehicles not only represent a significant waste of raw materials, but also pose environmental hazards.